Hi guys, EBPMAN with Tablets for Me, and today we're going to do an unboxing review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 for AT&T. Well, it's release day for the Note 4 here in the US. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside the box. I'm going to open this up really quick. Inside the box, what we have is our instruction guide. Quick instruction guide, just overall giving you a review of the different controls and the use of the S Pen for your Note 4. We have our note here and all covered up in plastic, and we'll take a look at this a little bit later. We do have our SIM, and again, it's not a micro SIM, or in this case a nano SIM like what you have in the iPhone. So it is the micro SIM, as you can see right there. As we go into the box even further, let's see what's in here. So this opens up this way. We have information about contactless payments using your phone with Google. So soft card. So this is for doing contactless payments like you would see on Apple. Your instruction guide. We do have a micro USB cable, and note that the micro USB cable is not a USB cable 3.0 like you have in the S5. So it looks like they've reverted back to the micro USB cable, which is not a 3.0 cable, so that's something to note. If you are an upgrader, you won't be able to use your old cable. Here we have our battery, and it looks like our battery is let's see where it would say it right here, just to make sure that all the specs that we heard are pretty accurate. We'll go ahead and take a look at the actual milliamp hours, as it's kind of being covered up right now. But here's your battery for your Note. We also have here, oh, this is new. I don't recall this being with the old one, but a tip stylus for your stylus. This is very common when you look at Wacom drawing styluses, where you can actually replace the tips. So here you have the ability to do that. And you have your charging brick for your Note as well. It doesn't look like, let's see, is there... Nope, it doesn't look like there's headphones included, which we see with some of the other phones from Samsung. But that in all is our unboxing. Real simple. Your phone, your SIM, your battery, your USB cable 2.0, and your power brick, and then additional tips. Let's take a look at starting up our Note 4 to see what's changed. So before we actually open up the Note and put the battery, let me just highlight one thing for those of you who are new to the Note. You'll notice that there's a little edge right there. This is where you're going to use your nail to actually pop off the cover so that we can actually get inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my finger like this, and then all you do is you go around it and pull open. You don't have to worry about breaking the actual cover, because it is a plastic cover that has kind of that kind of pleather look. It's not really leather, but it's plastic. So all you do is you pull it off just like that. Now, a couple of things to highlight that has changed. First thing that you'll notice is this is where you're going to put your SIM, and it's indicated by saying SIM. So we'll get a little bit closer right there so you can see that. And then this is where you're going to be putting your micro SD. Now, one of the things that's changed is that in the previous, in the S5 specifically, there was a dual tray SIM and micro SD slot. Here it's separate. I like the old design. I thought it saved some space, but I don't see a takeaway when you look at that. You have your speaker, you can see that right there. The camera is also raised, so I know that there's been a lot of critique from Apple for having a raised camera lens, as you can see here, but it looks like Samsung has done the exact same thing. So there's probably some things changing in the technology side that's requiring the actual lenses to come out that way. So we'll take a look at that as we look at the hardware in general. Let's go ahead and put in the battery. I won't put in a SIM card for now, but we'll put in the battery so that we can see how things starts up. So inserting the battery is pretty straightforward, but one of the things I wanted to highlight that we weren't able to do during the unboxing because of the plastic is really highlight the capacity of the battery. You have a 3,220 milliamp hour battery, which is very large. This should give you more than adequate use time when it comes to your phone. So we're going to place this in, and it's pretty simple. All you do is start from the top down like this. So you go in like this, and then you just snap that into place. I'm going to put on the cover. I'll put in my SIM a little bit later, and also an SD card a little bit later, but we'll just start it up so we can go through the process. To place the face cover back on, all you have to do is just align it with your camera, as I did right there, and then all you do is press, and you'll hear a snap go all the way around as you're putting it in. And just, again, snap it in. You don't have to be very careful or worry about it, but what will happen is as you snap it in, it'll eventually become flush with the actual phone itself. So I have a little corner here that needs to go in, and all I'll do is I'll push it in, and then that's pretty much it. So now the battery is installed. Before we actually start it up, here's another area right there. Before we actually start it up, let's talk a little bit about what's changed with the actual Note. The Note, we'll go through hardware specs, but I just want to go through some of the aesthetics right now. What you'll notice is once you get yours, if you're planning on getting a Note, is that the frame now is a metal frame. And that frame is pretty much going all the way around the phone, and you'll notice how the back has somewhat of a small arch. You have your, looks like 2 pinhole mics here, and then you have your speaker in the back. On this side, it has a little, I would say bump right here. I don't know, maybe it's an aesthetics thing. You have your volume rocker right there. You have your headphone jack. Okay, and then you have your IR blaster. So this is what you're going to use when you're changing the channel of your television set. And this is another pinhole mic. On the back, you will notice that just like Apple, the camera is coming out from the actual case itself. So that's interesting. And then here you have your flash, and then you're also what would be your heart rate monitor, or what you do to look at that with the S Health app. On the back, you'll also find the logo and Galaxy Note 4, which most of us don't see because everyone puts a cover on their phone. On the front, not much has changed. You don't really have any visible controls. Once we light this up and turn it on, you'll see that. But here you have your front-facing camera, and then you have all the different motion sensors that go with the phone as well. So let's go ahead and start up the phone and see what's changed in the startup process. So let's go ahead and start up the Note, and we'll go ahead and see what the startup process is. I'm going to press and hold the power button. The phone will vibrate, and you'll see the actual logo in Galaxy Note, and also seeing the Android, powered by Android sign. Traditional Samsung with a Samsung ringtone. This happens to be an AT&T phone, so you'll see that. You have, again, this assisted process. This is actually an overlay coming from AT&T. I'm going to skip this. Don't want to do this now. And I'm going to choose Exit. Now what we have is some agreements. I'm going to go ahead and opt in to understanding the conditions, and no, I'm not going to send you diagnostic information. You can say yes if you like. It's asking if we want to opt in to Google, and I typically do. I'm okay with that. Now it's a process where you would sign in to your Samsung account if you have one. I recommend you do this. This is going to give you the ability to locate your phone if you lose it. If you're an iPhone user moving over to the Note, you have Find My Phone on the iPhone. This is going to give you Samsung's equivalent version of Find My Phone. It's also going to give you the ability to disable your phone in the event that you lose it. So important. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, before I was able to enter my Samsung account information, it did ask me for a Wi-Fi connection since this phone doesn't have a SIM. I'm going to go ahead and put my Wi-Fi connection, and then I'll go ahead and put in my Samsung account. If you don't have one, again, create one. So I went ahead and keyed in my Samsung account, and it immediately took me to the phone. This is different. Typically what I've seen is when you put in your Samsung account, you would go into your Google process so that you can put all your Google credentials. So immediately after putting in my Samsung credentials, it took me to the actual screen here, the actual screen where you can actually start using the phone. And as you'll notice, I'll just swipe over to one side. Here you have some of the S Health apps, Uber. You do have the previously known as ISIS wallet, now known as SoftCard, so I'm sure there's going to be some updates. Driving mode, some AT&T type bloatware that I'll show you how to turn off in a little bit. But this is what's involved in the phone. You'll notice that it also has the Flipboard magazine solution. So this is powered by Flipboard, so this is something that we'll look at a little bit later. But really not much to it. It immediately goes into this process. So what we're going to do now is set up our Google accounts as well as our email accounts. So I'll show you how to do that, because typically the older versions or the other process would walk you through that process, and apparently this one's not doing it. So now the easiest way to add your Google account so that everything can start synchronizing is to literally just go into your Play Store. So I'm going to just choose Play Store, and you'll notice this is the screen that I expected to see earlier. Add a Google account. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose add an existing Google account, and I'm going to type in my account, my Google account information, and what should happen is all of my settings, my wallpaper, anything that I've had on my previous Note or my previous Samsung or Android phone should appear. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Once I go ahead and put in my Google account, it's going to ask me if I want to sign up for backup services and also on the communication piece. I opt into this. This is important because this is going to allow me to restore my phone, back up my contacts, all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes to this. The next thing you'll do is accept the terms and conditions for Google Play. And now what should happen is that Google account has been added, and what we will start seeing is some updates taking place.